Cool. So here we are, guys. This is episode 20 of the Tennessee Titans UK Fans podcast. I'm joined once again by James and David. Guys, thanks for joining me once more.
Hiya.
So, might see some more smiles this week, might we, guys? So, this is the first home win for the Tennessee Titans in 413 days. Now, I do appreciate the postseason is very long gap in between, but 413 days for a win at Nissan Stadium is long overdue, and it is well worth it. So it was the Titans 26, the Chiefs 9. You have to bear with me. I had a handful of notes today. I had them all printed at work. And can you guess where they are? They're still at my work. So I'm all over the place today with notes. I need to be honest with everyone who watches the podcast. I didn't watch the game. I went to the pub. The idea was to go to the pub, put it on my phone, watch it. Not a problem. The pub I go to is normally really quiet. I walk in there. Boom, 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 boom. It is a rave going on in this pub, and it's standing room only. And I was like, oh, I'm trying to watch it on my phone when I'm stood. It was standing room only. It was chaos. So I got to see little bits of the game. I was relying on Twitter and updates from there. So bad Titans fan, but maybe just because I wasn't there, maybe that's the reason we won. So we'll go with that to start with. But from what I have seen, I've watched the highlights today. They look good. They looked impressive. I know the Chiefs aren't the team they used to be at the moment. They're struggling, but an impressive victory. Now, obviously, quick look at the stats. The first quarter, as I was trying to catch up online, it was 0-0. So straight away, I'm thinking, game of the century. You know, I haven't missed anything here. Titans won the second quarter 9-6. They won the third quarter 7-3, and then they won the fourth quarter 10-0. So to me, that's an impressive result. We've done very well there. Guys, you watched the game live. I didn't. So let me know your thoughts, because you're going to have a lot more to say than I have this week. Plus, just so everyone knows, I've got a cup of coffee on the go here, and I've got a Lemsip. I've come down with a cold, so I'm struggling. So hit it away, guys.
I'll let James start.
Okay. Yeah, what a game. Couple of points just coming off the back of your speech. Don't watch another Titans game.
I've heard that so many times over the years.
That would be great. And secondly, the Chiefs aren't the team they used to be. Regardless of Mahomes, that team has still a lot of Super Bowl winners. There's still a lot of players that went to the Super Bowl last year. So they're still a very good team. They're only missing
Still better than us.
Mahomes, and I think it was Rashid Rice. I think of like the main players. I think they're missing maybe a offensive lineman, but they still have a ridiculously good O-line. They still got good receivers. They've still got obviously Travis Kelce. Their defense is still very good. So I know a lot of people have said, "Oh, well, it's only you can only beat them without Mahomes." Yeah, maybe, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And at the end of the day, the state of the Titans at the moment is you should without Mahomes, you should be beating a team that's pretty much got a third string, a practice squad defense, um, a bunch of rookies that nobody really knows what they're doing on offense. So you should be beating them. So I'm going to go out and say it was a very good result for us. We played against a very good team. They're a very, very well coached team. So putting all that into perspective, I don't really care about Mahomes. It was really good to beat the Chiefs, and it was good to give them a little bit of a beat down. We gave them some once before with a few years ago with Tannehill. Absolutely smashed them. It was great to smash them again. It should have been even more of a smashing, but I'm sure we'll get back. We'll go on to that penalty later. But yeah, it was good. It was overall good game. I think the first quarter was a bit. There were some moments when Cam Ward misplaced an easy pass, which we could have continued to drive, and it just wasn't really going anywhere. But then we were stopping them, and Garton wasn't really doing a lot, and it was a bit of a stalemate until we got that safety. Big Jeff stepping up again. But after that first quarter, it was really good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really enjoyable game to watch, because they won quite well. But you saw one drive where Cam made a couple of good passes. There was a really good run as well, and they looked really impressive on offense today. obviously, there was a couple of hiccups and a few giveaway penalties that stopped tries, but they played really well and it was really enjoyable to watch. And you can say they, as you said, that they didn't have Mahomes, but the defense was was more or less intact. I think their offensive line had a few players subbed in, but we've got a secondary that's got nobody of any note playing in it, and we really dominated them when it came to it. And as I say, we put away, four really good drives. We denied the one could have been a fourth touchdown, um, and we played really well. It was a really good game to watch. I don't.
Not
The
not
only
one to miss, hey.
downside, the only downside you could possibly say was the fact that we gave away far too many, silly penalties. Still, and it seemed like we were going through a period when we'd corrected all that, and then the last two games, they seemed to have gone back to our old ways of giving away far too many penalties.
I was just looking
Yes.
at some stats. Sorry, I mean, Cam Ward, 228 yards and two touchdowns. Obviously, that's going to build him a lot of confidence. Because I think you see him in the press conference after the games at the moment. He's speaking quite freely and he seems like very confident. And I think getting those yards now, the touchdowns, is going to help Cam Ward. Sorry, James, what are you going to say?
No, it was a lot of penalties that were killing drives. Silly penalties as well, really. But as you say, Cam had a really good game. Broke the passing record for as a rookie for the Titans, first year rookie record. So that's good. The thing is, it's been a turbulent time, and the he's done so well, and it has been a trial by fire. And I know I've been very critical of Cam this season, but he's faced all the top defenses in the league this year.
Mm.
Regardless of what people think of these teams have the defense have been playing really well, and I don't think I'm sure there's sort of stats saying something around he's faced like all of the top 10 defenses, all but like one or two. So he's probably faced eight of the top 10 defenses. And you got to think the Texans are number one. He's faced them twice. We've still got Jags, which someone I think I saw was ranked about seventh best defense. So we've played some tough defenses and some very well coached defensive teams. So all the critique on Cam not being that great, the O line struggled. It's starting to gel. That O line is starting to look very good. And touch wood, there's got to be multiple bits of wood I can touch right now. I need to start doing some like good luck dances because if we can keep this, Dan Moore, I was like, I want to get him out of the team. He's starting to play really well. Obviously, Skoronks, he's having a Pro Bowl year, even though he's not been selected for the Pro Bowl, which is a bit annoying because I feel like he's been incredible. Latham's getting better. Cushenberry came back. He was all right, but we've had Levin in there who played well last week. It's that O line, since we've got rid of the Callahans, the O line has started to gel and become a very solid unit. Yesterday, I think the only sack came from, which was credited, was down to Pollard. So that's incredible. Against the Chiefs, who have got a very good, they blitz a lot of the. I think they're sort of the third most blitz team. So you to only get one sack against that and it be come off Pollard as a blocker, that's very good. I'm impressed by it. Yesterday was just an overall one of those games that I was like, we're quite good actually. Like I don't want
Nice
to
to
get too
say that,
carried
isn't
away
it?
with it, but it was. We actually sat there. So it was enjoyable, and it was just we just played good football.
Mm.
That's all it was. It was
Problem
just
is,
good football. Good.
it's a
It
long
was.
season with all these defeats, and we keep saying if we're going to lose, lose by trying, but now they're trying and they're actually getting the results, and you can see what they're trying to do. Kind of makes me think that McCoy might be working his way into the full-time job here. If we keep winning and doing well, you never know. It's the Titans, anything's possible. The next game against the Saints, possibly a winnable game. Jags, probably not. But like you say, I just, yeah, makes you wonder if McCoy's now getting the team together. Maybe he could be a good head coach for us. Now he's had time to sort things out from whatever the Callahan's put in place. I don't know, but that's a subject for off season. I think about the next coach. But like I say, yeah, it's nice to see him kind of the things they're trying is working now, which is good. I mean, I was impressed with saw the highlights yesterday. I could see that TJ Spears has had a lot more carries. I mean, he got 52, only 52 rushing yards yesterday, but that's good. And they were good rushing yards. And Pollard got 102 yards. I don't know what's happened with Pollard recently because I kind of slagged him off a few weeks ago saying, that's it, get rid of him, he's dreadful. Since I said that, his game's actually really improved. Do you guys think his game's suddenly improved? Are they doing something different with him, or do you think it's just gelling whatever they're doing?
Well, they're
O-line.
generating more holes for him. He's a lot of times, when he's struggled, he's been hit, behind the line, and now he seems to be getting some spaces to run in. I mean, he's only what 30 yards off 1,000 yards now, so he hasn't been performing too bad. He's just not really had enough space, but he's doing really well now. The offensive line is actually moving. The one thing about 4 weeks ago, I said they ought to have an extra offensive lineman in there. And I've noticed the last 3 weeks or so, they've been playing a lot of eligible receivers for tight end. I mean, like an extra lineman coming in has made it's. I think that's made a lot of difference as well, rather than just having one of the tight end doing the blocking, where they're not quite as good. Because neither of them are that experienced, apart from Okonkwo, and he can't block anyway. Um, so that's really made a difference in the run game.
Yeah, this was it now back to back to back 100-yard games for Tony Pollard. So we thing is, we all knew he was good. Like he he's not Derrick Henry, he's not Jonathan Taylor, but he's a good running back. He's gonna get you, as you say, if he's getting close to 1,000 yards, if he can get 1,000 yards with the start he had, I think that's really good. It just
Well, yeah,
shows
because
that.
you'd be thinking in a good season he'd be getting 1,500 to 2,000 possibly because the start of the season was horrendous, wasn't it? So, like you say,
I mean,
he's finished the season strong, hasn't he? If he started strong, even better.
yeah, and it just shows that that's the O line started to gel. As David said, we're creating gaps for him to go into. It's the same with Spears. Spears he's even more of a lightweight running back, and when we used him before, he's just going to get hit, and he's not going to. Spears is someone he's elusive, but if you tackle him, he's majority of the time gonna go down, and he's not gonna be able to break tackles. Can you just flip your mug round the other way, please?
I
Because
know. Do you know what?
it says
As I took a
charges on
swig
it.
there, I realised it's a really good mug because it was obviously when they played the Chargers in London. And as I took a swig, I saw it and I thought, oh, I need to turn this around in a second. He beat me to it. So hang
But
on,
yeah,
let me swap. I've got 3 mugs on the go at the moment. That's my biggest problem. Sorry.
it's definitely the O line. I feel like Pollard's. th- Well, do you know what it was? It was Jeffrey Simmons after the game said this is the reason why he doesn't want to leave. It said there's such a good team chemistry there, and it shows that players have just not their heads haven't dropped, and the team's gelling. And I'll be honest, Snead's not in that team, Ridley's not in that team, and they haven't been a part of it for most majority of the season. So in my eyes, they're gone. What we've got now can be the core of our team, and we just need to add to that as best as we possibly can. I would like O-line depth because you just can't be too sure, but the O-line is just performing. It's as soon as that O-line starts performing, it's everything else starts coming together. Once the trenches are sorted, when you start winning those battles in the trenches, lanes start opening up, whether it's pass protection, whether it's holes for running backs. It just opens, you get that run game going, opens up the throwing lanes, and it just works so well. Yeah, it's just getting better, and that's the thing is, it's just getting better. I think Skoronski's now 3 games without even having a pressure on his accredited to him. So the fact that he's not been put into the Pro Bowl is criminal, really. I think it's purely just because he's plays for the Titans, but it's
I think the thing
he's
is though, when a team's had a bad season, it's those players don't, although they stand out because we watch them every week. You'll probably find maybe a lot of the people who choose the pro teams um, don't concentrate on teams like the Titans as such. You know, they probably look at the more teams who are doing better, if that kind of makes sense. I mean, obviously, I know Simmons is obviously a beast at the moment. He stands out every game, but yeah, I can imagine he's not been chosen just because they haven't been concentrating on the Titans. We've probably not been the team to watch the season, have we?
Well, I think it's the thing that because they've given up so many sacks in the season,
oh,
he's then tiled to the brush. Well, he can't be that good because they're giving up so many sacks. But
yeah.
obviously, he's not been the one who's been so bad. And if Moore has been rather, he's been out on his own quite often. Soronsky is next to him, and obviously he gets penalised if there's a sack as well if they come in between the two of them. It's just the way.
Yeah. There was that pass that oh God, I literally know it in my top of my head because I was going mental for it. I'm sure it was it to DK? The one where Cam scrambles left
Yeah, he
and
passed
all
to
I
DK. He got him right in
I
the
know.
on the sideline.
phenomenal,
Mm.
absolutely phenomenal. That was
Yeah.
just there's people going around. I tried to share a post in the group earlier, but it didn't link from Instagram that well.
Oh, I saw
And
that.
people
Yeah,
are saying it's like pass of the season because the way he came off to his left, he was running backwards, and he hadn't even get his feet planted, and he still threw it, made that, and hit. Oh,
It's
those
actually
are
quite a difficult throw as well.
difficult.
Going sideways and throwing to that side while he's running to that side as well.
And he
see,
had
the
two.
only the only problem with that though is that we've got to accept that if we like the fact that Cam Ward does it and he throws it, you know, maybe 7 out of 10 are going to be successful, and then there's going to be interceptions. So as soon as there's an interception, people are going to kick off. So I guess the fans need to be kind of clear that if we want a quarterback who's a bit of a risk taker, then we need to be, accepted that he's going to throw interceptions. He's going to cause us problems. Probably not to the same state as our last quarterback, who just threw it to anyone, didn't he? He didn't even throw it to his own players. But yeah, so if we want a risky quarterback, we've got to accept that it's going to come with some problems, isn't it?
I
I
think
don't know.
it's
I think part
yeah.
of the reason is that Cam, because he's not like throwing 7 interceptions in 15 games, which is pretty good. But and part of the reason I think why he misses sometimes is he tries to make sure he's not throwing to into coverage. He's trying to give it out, and he quite often therefore throws it a bit too high and a bit too wide.
Yeah, I think he's that throw was. I think the thing that stood out for me, there's two defenders in his face. He was getting pressure from a third, which is the one that forced him out to the left, and he still made that pass. And it was a sensible pass. It was to the sideline. DK caught it in bounds, toe tapped it, went out. It was just it was that wasn't even the thing is, it was a very, very hard pass, but it wasn't a risky pass.
Hmm.
Yeah, it could have got tipped or battered down from the defenders. But as a pass wise, he threw it away from the defender. He allowed DK to run onto it to catch it. It's he did the same pass on the other side to Helm in the first quarter, and he just completely overthrew it. And it was like there was this very similar, but it was even more of a simple pass. And this is the sometimes like the mechanics and stuff. On the move, he seems good. He makes these passes that you just don't think are possible, or that he shouldn't be doing as a rookie, as in that you'd think these sorts of plays would come from players like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and all these other Herbert, the ones that are the more elite throwers. So for him to do that already is good. And that was definitely for me, that was my highlight of the game. I That was my moment, I think. That was incredible. I got a little cheer. I was like, woo.
So I'm glad you got to enjoy it, because it was quite good because I was in the pub and I was trying to watch some of it. Then I was refreshing on the screen, and I was with a friend of mine. I've got a friend who's a Bears fan, and my other friend is a Jets fan, so he wasn't really interested in the NFL last night. And I was there refreshing my thing, and people thought it was weird. I was like, "We've scored! We've scored! I've got to get on the thing. We've scored!" And I was getting all excited. And the pub was rammed. They probably saw the little short lad. What's he going on about with his phone? And I was like, "Look, look, look!" Showing my phone to people. They've scored. Getting all excited about it, and they had the darts on, and I was like, "Come on, guys! The NFL's on. Why are we showing darts in England?" Although that was quite good last night as well. But yeah, so I'm the only thing is, I really want to try watch the game back, and I don't get time to watch TV. I mean, I don't watch TV these days. I'm so busy with so much stuff. And the only thing I ever watch is sports. But if I have to like try set myself an hour throughout the week to watch something extra like the Titans games, it's a nightmare. So I've got to really try and find some time to watch this because, by the sounds of it, you guys seem really pleased, and James, you're well excited about the Titans and Cam Ward again. If we lose next Sunday, I can imagine it's going to be a different kind of James. It's going to be like Jekyll and Hyde, isn't it? Get rid of the Titans. Get rid of Cam Ward. Bring back Will Levis. We'll start that campaign again, won't we? After defeat. But it is good, though. It's nice. We won. I know we're kind of messing up the whole number one pick thing, but it's quite nice that we're not, they could have given up and they haven't. And they are showing a bit of grit and a bit of determination. We might lose the next two games, and that doesn't matter now because we've had that little bit of joy in our lives again. Because it's a long postseason, isn't it? So it's just good to see, just that little bit of positive, a little bit of, nice to smile on a Monday, isn't it?
Yeah,
Very much so.
Although I had a hangover, so I wasn't smiling too much this morning.
I
I was
think
a bit
it's
sore.
what you guys have been saying from the beginning when I was like, I just want the number one pick. Because when you're losing, you just feel like the only
You
way
want
to
to
get
watch
out
it.
of it is to pick elite players in the draft. And then you get a win, and then you start get the taste of winning, and you see the team playing well together, and then you start thinking, oh, they deserve something, and then you see the players like heads drop. Like the last win when Cam wasn't happy with it, he was still like saying, "Oh, we still got so much to work on." And this win just felt like a proper team before a team win. Like they just did it across the board. And it's those moments you're like, do you know what? I don't care because for that game, Cam played exceptionally well. No turnovers against a good Chiefs defense. Touchdowns, great throws, great passes, very high accuracy. It's you just get
Just
that
what you want,
buzz.
isn't it?
The O line needs games like that where they're getting up. They're going to then grow in confidence. The younger receivers are going to grow in confidence. DK's going to be he's just going to get better and better and better. You need Iron Man to get back to what he was doing at the beginning of the season. Help you need these players just feeding off each other and growing from that win. Annoying thing is obviously it's come towards the end of the season, but just having those moments where the team are happy is going to build that bond with like better. And as I said earlier with Jeff Simmons having his interview, he just says the team bond is there, and that's so important, especially when you've been knocked down so much that this core of the team is galvanized and they want to play for each other and they want to win. It fills you a
See,
bit of hope.
when I look at sports and teams, I always look at Manchester United as my kind of like. I grew up watching Man United, for the 90s and early 2000s, and I always look at their squads and think they weren't that good of a team. Wes Brown won the Premier League. Yeah, says it all. Yeah, Phil Neville, those guys, but they weren't the best players, but they were a team, weren't they? And then obviously Alex Ferguson can get the best out of these players, and that's what you need. Sometimes you need that team bonding where you can look at the squad and go, on paper they're not that good, but if they're working together and they're working for each other, that can get you over the line in games, and that can be the difference of because everyone's moving forward as a team, they're working together better rather than you have like I don't want to say like Calvin Ridley. You get these star players. Sometimes they're not there. Although they're team players, I don't want to pick anyone out in particular, but they don't work together as a team. That bond isn't there, and they're not always pushing for each other. It's like they're more individuals, aren't they? Some of these star players. So it's nice to see that you've got these. the non-star players now playing, who they're given the opportunities to play, they might prove their worth and actually get other contracts and do well in the NFL, do well at the Titans. But yeah, it's nice to have that bond. It's nice just to see the team. They want to play together, don't they? That's what you want to see in any sport. But it's good when it's the Titans because it's been a long season, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think
You
I
get more
think
people get more respect when, if you're just a superstar who sort of, says all the time and just turns up to, for a game day to get the touchdown passes and, other players don't really respect him. And when he gets in a bit of trouble, well, he can sort it out himself, can't he? Whereas,
Well, that's it.
if
Then you look at the man
Jeff
behind
Simmons
James.
will be first on the pitch to sort someone out if they're messing with it
Well, that's
somewhere
it.
else.
I mean, the man behind James there, Jeff Simmons. He's probably the first man on the pitch, last man off the pitch. He fights for every single player and every single ball, every single snap. He's fighting
Mm.
constantly because he wants everyone to win with him. And he's a superstar, but he's a proper team player as well. And just if you can get a team full of people like that, they haven't got to be the best players, and you will get some wins, and you will drag yourself through, and you will win the Super Bowl in 2027 because that's when the Titans are going to win it. I keep
Could
saying
be.
that'd
that.
be good.
It
That
would be
would
good,
be
wouldn't
good.
it? To be fair,
I
the
thought,
playoffs would be a good start, but if they could go and win it as
Yeah.
well, it'd make my life a lot easier, wouldn't it?
well, look how the Pats have done this year.
Yeah.
They've gone from a team that was picking really low in the draft, and now they're looking like quite close to getting to the number one seed.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it's anything can happen.
Yeah,
And
they've got a good coach.
yeah, but the thing is, they do have a good coach, but there's things. Don't get me wrong. I was very much in the Vrabel camp. That I did love Vrabel. I just found him a great players coach. Like he could just get players playing. It didn't matter who you were, people just played for him. It was a bit they say of Alex Ferguson.
Mm,
People played for him, not necessarily for the club or whatnot. They played for the manager. And he has that. But they haven't played many great teams. But as I say, you can only play what's in front of you. But there's only reason it just shows that when you get good coaches in, it can turn a team around. We just need some good coaches. It's all it is.
the
People
right
do
coach.
say a lot of it is down to coaching, and we just need to get something in next year and build what we are. But when you talk about Jeffrey Simmons, let's talk about that penalty. That's disgusting.
I didn't see
Absolutely
it.
gonna go on a rant here. The NFL have bailed out the Chiefs time and time and time again. And do you know what? One of my best friends, he's a Chiefs fan. I really hope he watches it. He's probably not, but I really hope he's watching it because I always say they bailed them out. They're just doing everything they can. And there was a perfect touchdown yesterday, and they called it back. And they go, "Oh yeah, basically, Big Jeff came onto the pitch. Lined up as fullback, and he made a block. And then they said he was illegible. They did even they did the replays on the TV, and they actually showed him come on, rub his chest, put his hand in the air. They did that, and the NFL officials rubbed their chest as well to say that there was a legible player on the field. So they'd noticed it, and then they called it off on him. As soon as he got the touchdown, they chalked it off. Absolutely. The stupid
I'm
thing
not.
is,
I'm not.
we were
I'm
beating them
not
anyway,
sure.
but
Oh yeah, exactly.
we were beating them
They don't
anyway.
need
But the
help.
people who say it's now down to like betting and stuff like that, they tried
Yeah,
to
I've
do
seen that. Yeah,
betted stuff, but that was awful. It was just being perfect. I think we scored a field goal from that passage play
so
because it all went tits up after that. But
I was quite busy at work today, so I've been on and off the internet looking at bits. And I did see there was an interview. I think it was McCoy, and he'd said, well, it might be last night when I was drunk. I can't remember. He said that he wanted to challenge the call or something, but he was told he couldn't. Then after, if I'm completely wrong here, I apologise to our millions of listeners and you too. But he wanted to challenge the call, and he was told he couldn't challenge the call. But then after the match, he was told he could have done. So if that was the case, and I've read that right, he could have challenged it, and then was told he couldn't, and then he was allowed to anyway. That's quite poor, isn't it? The officials have got that wrong on the pitch as well.
yeah. Well, I mean, as you say, there's a lot of social media about it all being a fix and all this thing. But I mean, you can see from the replay that Simmons was running in and I think it was the head linesman or the referee was looking the wrong way, and where he should have been looking at the team because another man was coming in and nobody was looking, and that's why they didn't see it. But so he was at fault for not looking before the team was all on, all in the huddle, as it were.
But
I got to
didn't
admit,
Yeah,
he
they,
just
it is
to say that he
well,
amazing.
was.
yeah, but if you look at it, the referee is looking that way, and Simmons is coming in that way. So he wasn't looking. I mean, he should have been before we started moving off, looking to see if there's another player coming in because they weren't fully matched. Didn't have 11 men in the huddle.
I'd
So
like someone to, if someone could, if they're from our millions of listeners that have the ability to watch the games back in full, to go back to that particular moment and work out whether the stadium announcer calls him in as well. Because then it's down to just be able to listening and sight. And the fact that they called him in and they both rub their chest to say that there's someone coming in as a legible. I think that's the word. The terminologies in the NFL confuse me, but they suggested there was someone in there that shouldn't have been in there, but was now legible to be in there, and then they call him up for being illegible. So
no, what it was they had one already, and then Simmons came in a little bit later and obviously put his hand up and rubbed his chest. So they actually had two that were. But so what I think the other people who were making a signal were accepting the one, but not the second one. When so had someone been looking in the right thing, they would realise, oh yeah, there's another one coming in. But they didn't, and so they got
See,
penalised.
the only good thing is we didn't need that to win the game. But you imagine if the game was riding on that decision.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, I do football commentary on non-league football where you've got like the one guy in the middle kind of controlling the game, and yet the NFL you've got that many referees, you've got that many cameras, you've got the guys in New York who they can like speak to make decisions. They've got all this going on, and yet they still somehow get it wrong. Maybe it's because it's the Chiefs, maybe it's because it's the Titans. I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me because it's us and the Chiefs, obviously, because they seem to favour them, don't they?
it just seems stupid. I say the amount of officials they have, like touchline officials, that and the fact that they can't just go. Basically the play happened, they scored the touchdown, and they would say, "Oh, it's eligible." And if they go back and say that if they go back and check it, so they could just review it, and he does put his hand up and calls himself, then I have no reason. I don't understand why they can't do that. It makes no sense. That it wouldn't affect the game whatsoever.
Well, that's it,
Like
because
the
the
guy
game
would have still tried
stop.
to the guy would have still tried to tackle through Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons would have still tried to block him. It's not like the guy looked at Big Jeff and went, "Oh, you're not legible, so I don't need to touch you." They both ran at each other and tried to tackle each other. Do you know what? At first, I thought it was a flag for unnecessary roughness. At first, and then it just started to go downhill, and I was like, "This is just ridiculous now." So it was just. There was also another moment in the beginning, in the first half, first quarter, I think it was a punt, and it was they did the latest of like fair catch calls, and by that time our guy had gone in and already made the tackle, and the flag came out, and I was screwing, I was going mental, thinking, "Oh, that's it, typical Chiefs, blah 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 blah," and it was for an illegal block in the back at the end of it all.
Yeah.
But there were some moments in the beginning of the game I was like, "Oh, this is gonna go," because I don't know how late is it. I don't know. I mean, I have to look at the rules and stuff, but with this is going to the nitty grips of the NFL rules. But like the fair catch at the beginning of the game, some of the fair catch calls were coming in so late, and
Yeah.
players having to pull out of those like tackles.
Yeah, I've seen that a bit on some, not just the Titans games, some other games where they're running at him, and they stood there, and he's like fair catch, and the guy's like, he's still a few yards away, but when they're running at the pace they're running at, you're thinking you're not giving them much time to stop here. You think if I saw a guy running towards me, I'll be thinking I might need to call this a few seconds earlier. Right, so we're down to the last 5 minutes, guys. So I just want to quickly touch on the next game we've got. So we've got the Saints. That's at Nissan Stadium, isn't it? I think. Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
right? Nissan Stadium. So it's the last home game of the season, so it will be our next victory, obviously. Saints are 5-10. So obviously, they're not the best team. Do we think we're going to beat the Saints? And what's your prediction?
Well, a few weeks ago, you'd have said it should be a fairly easy victory, but they won the last two games and they thrashed the Jets quite easily
Yeah,
on
the Jets are
the
rubbish.
weekend. So I think it's going to be a little bit tougher than we first thought, but I don't see why they play anywhere close to the level of the last two games. I think they win easily.
It's
So,
a
go on, what's your
it's a tough
prediction
one.
then?
I reckon 26-17
Who to?
Titans.
Oh, good. I always have to check with you two because sometimes you go against the Titans, and I don't know, we don't like that, do
Well,
we?
look, we did earlier in the season, but some fool just kept oh, hoping they'd win. But
We just
They,
beat the
they did
Super
eventually. They
Bowl.
did
We just beat
eventually.
the Super Bowl team, didn't we? So we're going to smash everyone. I think it's a tough
Go on,
one.
go on then, James.
I think it's a tough one with the Saints. They've they've got a rookie quarterback that's kind of slipping under the radar and having a bit doing quietly quite well. All the talk seems to be on Sanders, Dart, and Ward, whereas I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, but the Saints quarterback is playing quite well. He's starting to link up with Olave really well, and they've got. Oh no, they lost their shy, didn't he? He went off to another team in the trades. So they haven't got the speedster. So it's literally just Olave and their tight end that are kind of their threats. Olave is a great wide receiver. So it'd be tough. Like I'm just looking now because I've actually just trying to find out the defenses, and the Saints are ranked 12th. So we're still come up against a very good defense. Um, but I don't really want to say them want them to win because I don't know.
Go on, you want to go on.
I'm
Then.
going
it's
to
all
say
gone now. They're not going to pick in the first three anyway. So
27, 17 to Titans. Go on then.
You sure?
I don't know. I've got
It's
nowhere
a hard
near
one.
any of my predictions, so I just don't want to jinx it, you know. I
Well,
said we're going to
I'm
lose, and
gonna
we lost, and we
I'm
beat the
gonna
Chiefs.
go 31-24 Titans. I'm going for another victory because I think we're on a roll. We're in Nashville, Nissan Stadium, and I think they're gonna give everyone one last thing to cheer about before the end of the year, just to keep us happy. So I think it's going to be another high-scoring game for both teams, and I think the Titans are going to come out on top, and the officiating is going to be just as bad this week as well. Can almost guarantee that, can't we?
Wins
yeah,
across the board, then.
That's what happens. Right, so we're down to the last 90 seconds. Quick question for you guys. Just quick yes or no. I saw somebody post this somewhere yesterday. Nick Westbrook-Akini. Somebody said we should get him back. I don't know what he's doing at the Dolphins he went to. What are your guys'
no,
thoughts on that? No?
no,
No,
No? Okay, fair enough. I
I
just saw
love
it. I
him,
thought I'd throw
but
it out
no.
as a question.
yeah.
Well, yeah, he was offered the same money and decided to leave. So it just seems, but yeah, somebody questioned it. So I thought, well, I'll throw it out there. Right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. Sorry we're a bit late to the usual doing the podcast today. Obviously, to our millions and millions and millions of fans across the world who watch this podcast, thanks for joining us once more again. Again, please join us on a Sunday on the Facebook page, which is the most active place. We did something different this week, which I didn't see because I wasn't there. We had like a community chat thing we were doing. Obviously, Twitter. TikTok's quite good at the moment. Instagram, which I'm not very good at. So, guys, thanks for joining me. Please, everyone, come along and join us, and we'll see you again, obviously, next week.
Cheerio.
See you later.
Cool. Cheers, guys.